what's up YouTube? Zacgent here, real estate sales representative from Remax Real Estate Center in Cambridge, Ontario. And today I'm going to bring you 5 renovations that don't necessarily increase the value of your home. As always, this video is brought to you by my opinion, knowledge, and understanding as of the day that it was made. And when I say it doesn't increase your value, I mean, you know, your home is valued at $500,000. You do a $10,000, $20,000 renovation, it doesn't really change that. It's still $500,000. And another part of that would be a renovation that you can't easily undo. So you've done a renovation, you know, some things you do around the house and you can easily undo it when it goes time to sell. Another disclaimer would be, keep in mind, like, I'm not saying nobody's going to buy it or nobody's going to value what you're doing. There could be people out there who do, or there could be people who really don't care that you've done this different renovation. But just keep in mind that it's just kind of, we're talking in general terms. The other side of that coin would be, when I say renovations, it doesn't necessarily means it doesn't increase the saleability, okay? And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but you know, you might do a renovation or might do a quick little job that costs you a couple $100 that just increases the saleability. Like neutral paint is something that, you know, lots of people preach that just helps the saleability. Staging your home for a sale. If it costs you a couple bucks to maybe buy furniture or do this or do that, it just increases the saleability. It doesn't mean that it's a renovation that's wasted. It just isn't increasing the value of your home. So you've put in some value and you're not really going to get that value back. Like, that's what we're talking about here. The last point I want to make is that you have to live in your home. So understand that you might kind of always have in the back of your mind you're selling or what you might do for resale, or you hear that people say that a lot, oh, this is great for resale, but you got to live in your home, right? You buy your home to live in it. So, you know, if you're going to live in your home for 5, 10, 15 years, live in your home. But just keep in mind that as you kind of do things, is this going to hurt me or is this going to help me or is it a neutral thing? So number 1 on our list of 5 renovations that don't really increase your value is making a room-specific basement. So when I say that, I mean, you know, finished basements are going to be a plus. However, if you finish a basement for a specific need, it could actually hinder you. So for example, a friend of mine purchased a home, and in that basement, the previous homeowner had made a sound studio. So they had like a recording booth in one room that had all that, you know, triangle soundproofing, and then in the other room they had where all the electronics would be. I'm sure that cost that person a lot of money. But when my friend bought it, they didn't care about that. The first thing they did was rip all that out. So that value that person put in there doesn't really equate to it. The other thing with basements would be if you chop up a basement too much. So kind of the general rule is more open concept the better. You know, so if you have a room, you know, let's say you make a den and then you end up making 2 other rooms because you want, you know, a man cave or a she area, and then, you know, like a photo studio. So you know, in your nice kind of big basement, you've chopped it up into 3 rooms. That could have a negative effect as well. Number 2 on our list is converting your garage into something else. Remember, I said at the start, things that cannot be easily reversed. Okay, so my garage, I don't park in my garage. I have a full gym in there, but really with taking out some bolts, moving things around, that can get back into a garage for selling purposes, you know, in an afternoon. When I talk about converting the garage, I mean you've made it into another room that like would be a heck of a lot of work and a lot of money wasted to convert that back to a garage. So things like making it a man cave or a she shed, things like making a hot tub room. I know a person who converted their garage into a hot tub room. It's amazing. I love it. But again, you're putting value in there. You're spending money in that renovation that you're not going to get back, right? Because you're going to have people that want the garage. So when I talk about the garage, what I kind of referred to at the start with, you know, there might still be people who like that, and that's true, right? There might still be people who like that you converted the garage into, you know, another room, or the hot tub example I gave, right? People might like that, but for me, I will never buy a house where I can't convert that garage into a gym. So again, like you're talking about me, I have a specific need for a garage, and other people have, you know, obviously like parking the car in there in the winter and like it as kind of a shed or you know, tool area or stuff like that. But just keep that in mind when you talk about completely eliminating the garage as a possibility to park your car in. Number 3 on our list is converting 2 bedrooms into 1. So this has a lot more impact with a 3-bedroom home. So if you take a 3-bedroom home and put it down to a 2-bedroom, that's going to have a lot more impact than a 4-bedroom down to a 3-bedroom. However, if you have a 4-bedroom home, you're probably in a certain price point and you're probably in a certain square footage of your home. And with those factors, people who are buying it might expect to have 4 bedrooms. So keep that in mind. And when I say converting 2 bedrooms into 1, I mean, you take your master bedroom, you knock out the wall to the next door bedroom, and now you have one big master suite, which is awesome and it's great. But again, when you go to sell it, now you're selling a 2-bedroom home as opposed to a 3-bedroom home. Options for that might be to steal some space from a closet instead, or steal, if you can move a wall here and there, to steal your space that way to make a bigger room if that's what you're desiring. That might be a better option. Or the other thing too is buy your house for your specific needs. I talked about this, I think, back in video 1 on first-time home buyers. Buying a house for your specific needs. Go through what is important to you, and is it important to you to have a huge master bedroom? Well, then that should be on your top of your priority list, and you shouldn't be thinking about maybe devaluing your home just to make up that difference later on. Number 4, this might be a little bit of a weird one for you, is a deck. Now I know you might be thinking like, what? Like, deck, how does that not add value? I'm gonna say it doesn't add value because it's almost expected at this point in time, especially if you have a second floor walkout and you don't have a deck on that, that's going to devalue your home. People are going to look at that and go, okay, now I've got to build a $10,000 deck or whatever the cost may be. And they're going to go, well, I got to factor that into my offer to buy your home. The other thing too, is you can get over the top with decks, right? You can do things like composite and engineering your deck to be super strong and things like that. That really doesn't add value to your home and really doesn't give you the money back when you're moving forward. What I will say though is that you've got to live in your home, right? So if you want to build this massive deck with all these extra features and stuff like that, that might really increase saleability, right? So you might decide, I'm going to build a 2nd-story deck that can hold a hot tub and can do this and can do that, and it might be beautiful, and people might walk out to that and go, oh my God, I have to have this house because of this backyard, because of the oasis that's created. But if you put in tens of thousands of dollars into a deck, you're probably not going to increase your home value by that amount. And with along the lines of the deck, we're going to talk about landscaping in general as well. So landscaping for sure increases saleability. Curb appeal, right? Everybody's heard that. I mean, standing at the curb, standing at the street and looking at the house going, oh, wow, that's so nice. So, putting in some nice flower beds and doing some nice walkways and things like that really help your saleability. However, if you're talking about, stone, armor stone is pretty expensive, and different things you can do that can really drive up the price of your renovation that you're not going to get back. So you can put lots of money into an outdoor renovation that you're really not going to get back when you go to list your home. Again, it's going to increase your saleability, and hey, maybe that turns into a bidding war and maybe you end up getting more money. But just putting in an expensive deck or just putting in armor stoning or different things like that doesn't necessarily mean that your value for home is increased. And the 5th and final thing that doesn't necessarily increase value in your home is over renovating. And what I mean by that is, your home is a certain price point. No matter what renovations you do to it, your home is always kind of be in a certain price point. You might be at the low end, the middle end, or the high end of it. But if you keep putting in things like a gold-plated toilet, you're not going to get the money back on that. So my house I lived at before, I finished the basement and I soundproofed this thing up the wazoo. So I put soundproofing insulation in every wall and in the ceiling. I did resilient channel in the ceiling and lots of the walls as well. That was a lot of work. It was a lot of extra money. But when I sold it, it was just kind of like hey, this basement is soundproof. It doesn't really, unless people are really looking for that, but that's a specific thing to be looking for. Unless people are really looking for that, they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, thanks, that's nice, right? So again, that doesn't increase the value of my home. Having a finished basement done to a specific way that we talked about kind of before, that can increase the value of your home. But doing things like that, and then doing things like over renovating the kitchen. Again, talking about the best of the best. You should have a good idea when you're doing these big renovations about where the value of your home lies, right? So if you're in the $400,000 mark, that's kind of your starter home. Maybe a couple, a young family, or a couple coming together to live together. That might be their home. So if you over renovate, you're not really going to get that money back because that's what your home is worth. If you're talking about $1 million home and then you add all these things and it makes it $1.1 million, well, yeah, you're probably going to be okay there. But again, but that might not be over renovating, which is what tip number 5 is. It's just over renovating out of your price point and adding more than you really need. All right, so that's the end of this video. Hope that helps you out. Hope that gives you some things to think about when you're doing your renovation coming up. Other than that, stay tuned for the next video. You can always contact me by email or phone. My contact information is always at the end of every video. And until next time, take care of yourselves, all right?